Maya Tatring also Nituji Trave Castle, Nidrato Dembano Tonasi, Dembano Tonasi Castle, Dejitang Yorova, Mato Ne Chichin Sonde, Dejitim Catedral.
So, referring to the root text of the ornament, so the verse 1.21, the first line when it says concerning achieving, so that the is about the true truth, and then the next line when it says the truth. So this is the referring to this the topic that we have been discussing at the moment, which is on Four Noble Truth.
That is an Tandingela Dejiga, ne Corona Voda, ne Trungenda Voda, ne Dejiga Mola Super, and then do somebody's.
So regarding this, the teaching on Four Noble Truth, so we outlined some few the headings, like the etymology etymology and the definitive, like the enumerations and the order and the meanings. So this and the investigating one or many. So we have finished all these headings.
Tatrin Danella ne Deji Chichi ne Mutosu Chirula Supate ne Techita Moteshi so Jinsecarisena Tingala ne Dembachi Rang Zinisha de Sala ne Dembachi Tapena Dunga Demberg shades Dunga Dembichis Chue Neta Mutola Supika ne Dunga Tonga Tome Pala Supasine ne Chi Rodonjo ne Tati Chiru de Maji Endo dire somewhat Tanasons.
So tonight, so we continue the teachings, on the heading called the 16 aspects. So which are also the 16 attributes, which the four attributes of each of these Four Noble Truths. So we learn in the definitions of these Four Noble Truths. So in each definition, so there's indications of this the four attributes or the four aspects. So for example, the truth of sufferings, in the definition of truth of sufferings, so where we noted that the truth of suffering is characterized by the four of being, like impermanence, miserable, empty of independent self, and the self of a person, which is its own identity. So we tonight, so we will go a little bit on the meaning of this the 14 attributes.
Teonta dunga dembe chichite muto dunga tonga dome jesine sunguyores. So first, start with the four attributes of the noble truth of suffering. So which are which I just mentioned before. The truth of suffering is the impermanent, has attributes of being impermanence, and the miserable, and the empty of independent self, and the empty of the self of a person, which is his own identities. 대용다 시다니 dunga tempe nga tso de deji kora kasala dunga shipa shaasne tani suyo te nungji ga ne da ni dunga tempe ga ta dunga wiga ne tante ni shiga ga yores ne te mo topa to dunga la jane shiga yores
so we also have noted that we in relation to the order in which these the four noble truths are presented. So that is the reason why the truth of the suffering is taught first, is presented first. Is that because it is important first to know and to recognize the sufferings, what is sufferings, and so therefore the explanation on these four aspects or the four attributes of the suffering. So it is to understand the meaning of sufferings, the truth of sufferings.
Tenga chitang dunga dema toche, ni ta ma topa rite, inayo, ta nga zo dunga nume nune zo na uji, ta sochi nyewa lambi pi modi tsile, ni tema topa re sine, ta tema topa imbi jinsela, ni ta dine ma su yung kuya re sirwa.
Di nyele po musla.
Sochi nyewa lambi pi modi.
So, we can, of course, we can think of the truth of sufferings of the various the examples. So now if we the main is really the truth of suffering, which they referring to is the contaminated form, contaminated aggregates. So therefore the first attributes, which is the impermanent. So if we need to find, or we need to understand that how these contaminated aggregates, which we possess, so is impermanent.
Ni tombo shewa ta, ni pati nyamba ton, taman ji pati, ni tsombe hako yo re sirwa. Ine ya, ni ta nani ga susi ki zipo te tanda ta che na, ni jipanda wo yi soma na ta. Ni dawa ngame ga tini zipo te jipanda wo yi ta. Ni zanko ngame ga zipo te tanda to jipanda wo ta. Ni ya kasi ga zipo te tanda na wo jipa yinpa sonde yi ga nga tsu tsama la. Ni tani chi
so this we know that this form, these aggregates of form, body that we have got now. So it is impermanent. It is changing. Like we know that that we know that it is the body. We acquired this body. We got this body at the time of our birth, and then when we leave during the time of our life, then it goes through the stages of aging or the decaying, and then we also know that at the end. And it will completely disintegrate. Yet, at the same time, there is some sense of this thought or the view of these aggregates as being rather permanent, and in a sense it is not it is not coming to, it is not changing like for example, we may still have a thought or a view of the body that we have possessed now is what we have now is we think of the body that we possess in this year is pretty much we identified is the same as the one that we had in the year before, and likewise the body we have in this month is identical to the one that we had in the previous month, and so the 1 week, the current week, the body we have is identical to the previous week, and so as a day, and so in this a time frame, so there is even though generally there's a idea, there's a understanding of its being being impermanent, but yet we kind of we have this view. We view this as this aggregate as permanent. And then we would also, just as we have this view, how we view this body as being same, what we have now is same as what we have before, whether it's a year before or a day before and so on. So we also have the same perception of the what we have now, will remain same, will be the same, next next year, or next month, or the next week, or the next day, or the next hours. So there is all this thought or the view, the perceptions which hold on this body as the same, as the is really the is a incorrect, is a incorrect and the misperception of this the body, and so in fact this thought that it is or the view reflect the view of these aggregates or the body as being permanent.
ni nga che ge ti nge lang zamba ta ma yin ba phimo de ni ke chi ni nji pi mu tsu ge che re se ne de ni so yong go yo res.
So what we find, what is saying here is in reality the body is impermanent. It is changing, or it is transitory, all the time, even a moment by moment it is changing. So this is something that we have to understand, that not only that this body is impermanent in terms of the longer the time gaps, but even in a very short the shortest time gap, like in a single one moment to the next moment. So the body is impermanent, and it is changing. So that's what the text is we find in here.
Te shipa shene ni tela yong ne yong kwande na pena ka yor sena mal pimbola chopa ala super rambaji to ma she yatnita ni che yor resra.
Yes, so this is thing as part of knowing this truth of suffering, so that we have to know that the body or this aggregate is impermanent and is continuously changing, is changing, and it's transient, and so these and what the effect such the understanding, such awareness of this aggregate as being impermanent will have in our mind is that it has a impact or effect of counteracting the such as the attachment to this to the body also.
Then was you on it, do not be teaching about doing our singing it is. The Karsungoras and the Pimbola Sopata doing our is. Doing our in the Karasan, and a Romuyo Mare, led on Yamu Yamuchi is in it. Tunisungo.
And then, so that's the impermanent. So that is the first aspect or the attributes of the truth of suffering. Now, the second attribute is that these aggregates, these contaminated aggregates, is miserable. Is miserable, and because why is miserable? Why is subject to misery? It is because it is under the power of the karma and the afflictions. So it is because that this contaminated aggregate is controlled by is really a power under the power of other force, which is referring to the karma, the force of karma and mental afflictions. There is no whoever possess this, so has no choice of being to prevent or to avoid such as the sufferings of related to birth, the aging, sickness, and the death. So these are all the come with these aggregates, these contaminated aggregates.
Tachi nonchi ne shepe ne shambado nijela supa nyos tese lenza nyos lende isa tese semba uchibunda uchi tindi tigin tigin ta nga tsuti deje kola supa pasha ne omala supa yoga chimundu sosona uchi tel kale jage chimundu sosona uchi tindi ge tenge ne makaji ne yesar song this ra.
So relating to this, that how when we are under the when we are controlled by the karma and mental affliction, then we cannot avoid or cannot prevent sufferings. So we also hear that how same thing, how if we have our mind is not brought under control, then the result will be that the mind will then fall under, mind will be then controlled by mental afflictions, and so as a result, that then again we cannot avoid, we cannot stop the arising of sufferings. So now here talking about this, thinking or meditating on this life or this the aggregates that we possess is sufferings. Now, of course, then we might have a question arise. Why do we need to? What is the point? What is the need of contemplating on this the nature of life being sufferings? And we might think that there is no real suffering. Everything is really very fortunate, very good situations in the sense that you enjoy good health, good living conditions, and on top of that you have the opportunity to Dharma, and so through Dharma then you are able to also through engaging in the Dharma practice, you are able to develop, cultivate love and compassion for other beings, and you might say that is really wonderful, that's really good, and so what is the more than that, what we already have, what we are already doing, we might ask question why we need to do this meditations on the truth of suffering, and also to push ourselves very hard in trying to learn about this all these these difficult topics, and such as the view of Madhyamikas and so forth.
That is okay. Not so doing at the Malas, Sheveni, doing at the mat, te, and doing over Imba Mato, and a Shen Jivi doing at Chawan Ji Dungala Supala, and a Dunga Imbaching in the Triomares.
So if this is this how we look at our life, and then it is this is it shows that then this shows that we we lack the full understanding of this the suffering nature of the life. We perhaps only recognized only consider this of the three types of suffering. That's the first one. There's a suffering of suffering, is a suffering, but there's no knowledge or no awareness of that other true form of sufferings, which is the suffering of changes and the all-pervasive suffering of conditionings.
Tani Nima Jewi Dunga, the Chawan, the Dungaimba, Nima Samba, and it has a gel and Nijeshiwa Inaya. Tinjisu and Nijete, Sicherangawala maybe, Nijete, Tawado Tonji Pigeon to Nijetoni, Tawachim Uniship, and Nijete Maris.
So the with the if you lack this such the full understanding of this the truth of sufferings, in terms of this the all three types of sufferings, and then the whatever even the kind of the compassions that we we cultivate, we feel towards other beings, and also in a sense whatever the practices, spiritual practices that we engage in. So technically, so it is not really serving as a cause for ourselves and for others to achieve like a liberation from such existence, and let alone the complete enlightenment.
Pena ne tini nije ti karal migrasena neba nyonton rawana ane tsoyangol kange yenge sechel no supala migore mato ne tanjiwi dunga yedenge ane kanda ne sochi chite wala yedenge gotan tel migyo mares
kal migyo masa
sochi chite wato dedenge
la an sakje
dewa dedenge tati yorwa ta mazo neba mayenge do nyonto mayenge chi no chi yorwa tsola ne nije migyo Yes.
So in our understandings of these or of the sufferings, so we only aware, we only think of the sufferings in terms of someone who is who is ill with certain a painful disease, and or there are others who are facing a very crisis in their life. We see, we recognize as a sufferings. But however, we do not have any knowledge, and we do not recognize the others, other than these, painful experience that we face in life. Other than that, we do not see any, recognize any form of suffering with these the contaminated the life that we got.
Ni chawan de ji dungalan de dungawa yamba ngochi pi tune ni sechela ni ji shewa ina tanda ti ni ji shewa tele dune pena chi mi chembo yenge to ji chembo yenge de la ni ji lopal shi kang ni treji re de yores garesena ko zo ni ta chengame gu seno so ja bote na tata ma de yores tai ani mugewala supa shene ni ta ma 세시말 마냐완로 에고 아니 지문보시 소되고 소심발에 되어res 대인자니 저 로발비 니제시 강에서는 오늘 되어res 저한테 중앙을 중앙에 시비 구조대 저거
so in our compassions, in our compassion only include those those other beings who who are really inflicted with really painful sufferings in their, or in some hardship in their life. So the but however, if we have the understanding of the deeper form of sufferings, like this suffering of changes, and particular these the all-pervasive all-pervasive sufferings, then this thing can have a really brings, this can give us a completely different way of looking at the things, and which would also our compassions, to whom we should show the compassion, so will be also might change. So for example, we may even feel stronger compassion to someone who's like a very well-off persons, by knowing, understanding, by recognizing that how the whatever that that persons have abundance of wealth that person have found, is how these are all the in fact the utilizations, using of his or her own the good karmas, good karmas of the past, and then to also then to see that how that person's what the person do just for even to acquire more wealth, and how then the person get caught in these various the worldly activities for this because of the wealth, and so on. So therefore, the in a sense is we have the awareness or the understanding of this the sufferings, such as all pervasive sufferings. Good understanding, then it is possible we feel stronger. Our compassion towards what we normally people, those who normally we see as like a really trouble-free, and really we don't feel see no reason for to show compassion, but we may even feel stronger. We feel stronger compassion toward those beings.
단단 같이 거니 진용래 신선한다 진로nye 신한다 더 적은가 아니 센데도 심만이래 조 심하다 심하라요 아니 라도 미 공부 조 많이 봐 아니 때한테 대화지도 니모 봐도 아니 레도 니모 비 영어도 너무 그러지 아니 드리그 체다 아니 제대로요 그래서 so the for if when we the true reason why we engage in or apply the Dharma practice, it should be reason should be based on our understanding that of that the between the purpose of the related to this life and to the future life. So we see the purpose of future life is more important. We place more important on that, and then therefore we should be our practice should be aimed at really finding a good rebirth, and then moreover not just even a good rebirth. So the happiness in that we find in a good rebirth, but if possible to even to aiming our practice, motivating our practice to achieve the everlasting state of happiness, like of the state of liberations. nyole buche gore nyole buche pala nyole manoji che gore nyole manoji che gona chi manoji shigore srwa manoji shigore na ta mbeche chene yongere
so therefore we need to ensure that the practice, the spiritual practice that we engage in, is the right one, is a correct one, and so therefore therefore in order to we have to engage in. So in order to engage in such the correct and the right spiritual practice, so of course we must know first. We must know about the practice ourselves, and because without knowing, then we without any idea of what to practice, then we can clearly then we cannot engage in the correct practice.
다 가르친 거였으나니 세제라 소파니 차원도 제지 등한테 쪼나스데 아니 시그요레 대용이 레도 녀무비 영제 다 레도 녀무비 영데 간데선 로건데 아니 레도 녀무비도 준 간데 다 던지게 레데다 아니 드니 녀무비 고라 소파 간데 텔라 시엔 간데도 어떻게 간가 야보지 니주 그거레스 저거가 니즈 야부 있어와이나 아니 다시 또 제가 니제시 떠야지 저거자 죽을 했어.
So therefore we need to understand that these all pervasive, we need to recognize the all pervasive sufferings, and because without avoiding, without the eliminating that, we won't be able to eliminate these sufferings, and so therefore we need to contemplate on how especially in order to overcome, in order to eliminate these the suffering or like all pervasive sufferings. So we need to contemplate more on the on karma and the mental afflictions, and how the forces of this karma and mental affliction, how if we the fall under these, if we are controlled by these two forces, then we cannot achieve the freedoms of this freedom, and so therefore what is required is to learn about the karma, what, and understanding what karma really means, and likewise recognizing the various mental afflictions, and also to contemplate and understanding their the what sort of like shortcomings the karma and the mental afflictions have on our life, and so forth.
Mazo ledu nyemu unki gata shiwa tuma me pane ani ru me pata nin tosu tsene mana me pata ni konen rodi go yore sir tanda pato ani tata pato konen rodi ni ko tsala sono tone ni nyemu bi shen ledu nyemu bi shen kase tuma de zang ji go ni ngazu ni nyemu jata ne ani tawado toji ji bi go ni long la zhen ba da ani tani yong go yore sir ba.
So we have to, reflect on the fact that how, ourselves and how all other sentient beings, from whether we're sentient beings who exist on the peak level of the circular existence, and then to all the beings in the bottom level of circular existence, like the hell realms. So all those beings, how they there is no they cannot, as long as they remain in these, within circular existence, they have to they are subject, they are continuously like the subject to sufferings, and there's no end to the sufferings, and what the causes them for them to remain in this kind of the suffering existence. So is this the karma and the mental afflictions, and so therefore it is we must learn in order to achieve the liberation from circular existence. Or in order to actually to cultivate a true motivations or a true wish to achieve the liberation from circular existence, which is called as a renunciations. So we must understand these the karma and the mental afflictions, and how. Because of these two, that how the being are subject to these aggregates, the contaminated aggregates, and with that aggregates, and then there is no we cannot avoid all the, in other words, all the sufferings or unwanted. The experience all become inevitable.
Ta dunga ko tni chite se mumbu na chos ti na ya ani ta ka che chi gane sombo chin de de nan jire ani ta ka le jane ta chi pa she do ma la so ba jo ko ma re se tni ka nga che sa re ani te za ani te so la te chi ta pe to na so ne ani shu wa his
So we hope the explanation on the truth of suffering is not too long, and because often there's some people find these is have a very kind of negative, rather a negative the influence on their mind, but however these presentations on this truth of suffering is very crucial, and also understanding the truth of suffering is very crucial for one's spiritual progress, and so therefore it is really to for the sake of those who are not, most of you might have already heard about these teachings so many times, but they might, if there are some others who haven't had that opportunity, so it's really for the sake of these few people. So I've gone a little bit in depth about this loss.
다둥아 데미 치치 섬바 동화 생이데레 동화 생이데 또지롱 치치 동화라 자그레스로와 대우 가르세나세나 아니 둥아 덴발라 단디게 소제 니와를 비핀볼라 소파테 아니 문지바 아니 메바 문지바 마이 반지비 모이 바다 아니 차실라 마티바 마이 바 차실 티바다 아니 젤라 마티바 마이 바 아니 지 영우지레스네 안 드니숭 거레스.
And so, okay, so now we move to the next attributes of the truth of suffering, which is it is being empty, empty of independent, self. So here the empty of independent self is referring to the self, which is like a permanent, partless. And the independent. So this not permanence, because it's not permanence because it is rather is impermanent. We have to understand the truth of understanding that the truth of suffering as impermanence, and then partless, is not empty of partless because it is, it possesses parts. And here when you say the independent self, so which is to say that it is not the without any causes, arising by itself, existing by itself, but rather to it is empty of such existence of itself because it is dependent on the other phenomena, like other causes.
Tan tamatelani dome pasingite resrwa dome pasingite ta kanda ni ruji pili za kuzo ruchat bize chitongala jalo res kuzo dome singite den za ne pimbola supata kuzo ruchat bize chi ta longxie jat matra pa asene ane tni sung resrwa.
And then the fourth attributes, which the truth of suffering, such as these contaminated aggregates and so forth. So these are empty of the of us. It says empty of a self of a person's. So here in this the empty of a self, in sense like the substantially existent self, the empty self, and so it's not these aggregates and the contaminated aggregates, so are not like the something like the owned by or controlled by all the like the utilities, or the usage of these some like the independent self.
Then that so jabo to lembo ta wa tin pina pimbo te un jija ta wa ne kuzo te un jije ta wa na tni ji bi ngo ta de pa ta wa yin ba ani tni she ngo resra ma zo no ya te ni pimbo un jija ta wa na yo pon da ko sra wa ja bi ko so no ne jabo te ji kuzo ko so na wa na pi te ji lo un jenge so na wa na ji tni ji no de ko wa
That's all that.
No, they deny the no one who did it, or it's Pimbodo Dani.
So in here, this the being empty of substantially existent self, in the sense of like self-sufficiencies. So here is to the indication is to overcoming this idea that that there's a person, is like the controllers, is like the owner, and whereas the aggregates, like such as the form aggregate and so on. So these are like the possessions or something to be owned by that person. So in a sense, like the person, this independent self is like the king, and whereas all the aggregate and so on are like the properties, and so therefore it is here. So one have to understand that that the self, the self is not these aggregates, or are not the way they exist is not like as if they are exist as resources or as a part, as a belonging of this independent self.
Na ti wola ne dunga dembe ge chi tere sarwa ne jeto kanju ne ra che ne ta kanju dembe ge chi tela je she te chi tere.
So the next the four attributes relating to the noble truth of the origin of sufferings, so which is which are the four attributes are like the cause, they are the cause and the origins and the strong producer and the conditions.
Then kanju demba siti chala ni le dang ani ndesho la supate so re de ores den sa tni ga le don de chor chala ani ji number de ores ji number kare sena runre ne dunga sheje tsawa na ti chode inza runre dunga demba sheje tsawa na ti chode inza kol ji number es ne tni sigu ores chi tombote.
So the truth of the origin of suffering, like such as the main origin of suffering, such as the karma and the mental afflictions, like in the form of like a desire or attachments. So here, which we have to understand that for example, the first attribute, which is the cause, so which is so to understand that these are the karma and the mental, like the desire or the attachments, so are the cause. So what cause of what? So these are the cause of the sufferings, that result from these, the karma and the desires.
Ane kanju number there is ta ja kanju number there karisana runde dunga te tapi tosu tsene mane me patapi yune yunda shijere te resro tani go ledo sepate ni segorda ledo sepate ni kunjure te res karesna kunju je karesna runde dunga dembala suba tan tosu tsene mane me patapi yune yunda shije na te te za ane kunju je na shigo res
So here the example for the truth of the origin of suffering. So instead of karma and the desire attachment, so we use example karma and the craving, which is also the form of desire. So karma and craving. So if we take that example, so we have to understand how these are the cause, cause for whatever the results which arise from these two, the karma and the craving, and then the second attribute, which when it says it has attributes of being, because this is the truth of sufferings, the truth of the origin of the suffering. So it has the attributes of the what's it called as the origins, origins, the like a strong origin in the sense, so that is like the root, root cause of all this the suffering that is produced, and then the third attribute, which is strong producers in the sense that these two, like the karma and the cravings, so they, whether these are the two main causes, two main sources, which are responsible, not only act as a cause, the root cause, but they cause as a violent and very strong and very like a perpetual, forceful, cause of bringing suffering or tormenting sentient beings, from the all the sentient beings that exist from the peak of the cycle existence to the bottom of cycle existence. So all those sufferings. So the reason why they strongly or the perpetually sufferings. So is because of these the origin of suffering. So which has the the attributes of being strong producers.
Ne ante chechi sambata tendi ni le dunya mumbala supate rachi ga nova segre karsena runde dunga shewa maze runde dunga pishu tropo shejere de ores te inza ni rachi ga nova segre sarva.
So as I just mentioned earlier, so not only the due to this cause of karma and the craving that the suffering arise, but it arise very forcefully, very strongly. So that's why this is called as the strong producers.
Tenigata sepate dan de choro de chotela ane tenigata change number segre change number se karsina runje dunga tiga ni lenji chechi sigres ta letela ni ta de chola su pi si ta ne ni shewa shimal shengo ro de inza lenji chechi sigres shebi chane change cha se teni shigorda.
And then the fourth, the attributes is called as conditions. The truth of the origin is said as a condition. So here, if we take the talk in terms of the karma and the craving as the truth of the origins. So these two are the conditions in the sense that that they serve as like a contributory, factors or the conditions to bring about sufferings. So just like you have a seed, and then in order to seed to produce a sprout or seedling, then there should be other contributing like conditions such as a watering and menu and so forth. So it is saying that by saying that this the origin is conditioned, so it is also it serves as a conditionings to resolve sufferings.
That's all I tell any. Kunju demba tigur dunga kandis shege but any. Tini kunju demba jena supati, shela supati shigo resrwa.
So no matter what kind of the sufferings that we find, so we have to understand, we have to recognize that this the truth of origins, so is also act as a conditions for these sufferings.
Ta tene ni ngupe demba she ngore, ngupe demba tela chichisha, ngupa shewa chano ngenju sene jishe ngore, tumbo ni ta tendi ta ngupa sena ni dunga ten se piga ni trawa se gore, tela ta ngupa se kese kare sena ni dunga pumbiga ni chane ni trawa sene ke jishe ngore.
So now we move to the truth of the cessations of suffering. So the four attributes or the four aspects of this include like it is peace. So it is like first the cessations, peace, superior state, and definite emergence. So first the cessations means to it is a state of the like the cessation of sufferings, and why? Because when we attain these truth of cessations, then we achieve like a freedom, like a bit like a state of freedom, from sufferings, like permanently.
Ta tendriga ne gupa shawarata, ta shive nomba sezika kari tendriga ta dunga te sepiga trawatela, shive nomba sekase karisana dunga pumbiga. Ani tandima shi chasikarwa, tendi pichane ni shive nomba sene shigores. Nyemu pumbis, nyemu tombotela dunga chacha, tandatela nyemu yadwa.
And then there's the next attributes is of the truth of cessation is called like a peace. So this is the peace that result from the attainment of this truth of cessations, and it is the why we, with the truth of cessations, why with the attainment of the truth of cessation, why we achieve the peace, is because of the freedom, or the freedom from like all the mental afflictions, the loss.
Ani tatini chanombe nombase. Ani ngupashewa chanombe nombase shate ni pedi nguo chibiga taware yes. Pembato devi nguo chibiga tawa inza ni chanombe nombase yes.
And then there's relating to the truth of cessations, the one attribute is called as it is a superior state, and so this is because it indicates the state of liberations, which brings about the lasting like happiness and lasting benefits.
Tendrigata, Dungatese, Tawatela, Nimbanju, Nombasicase Carisena, Tenichi thoughts had Tawachi thoughts asuna, any Laduyo Mars, any Lion in Koala, so to the Neo Mainza, Lamadupi Tawaiza, any Nimbanju Nombas in Sumaris.
And the fourth attributes of truth cessation is called, it is a definite emergence. So why it's called definite emergence is because the attainment of cessations, the truth of cessations, signifies the what we call as the irreversible, state of liberations, and so therefore it is like it's called as a definite, like a emerging from the sufferings, in a definite or very with the certainties, in the sense that you would once whoever achieved that, then would never fall back.
Anita, the name Lodega, Tachichitire, Lodega Chichi Tombotella, launch numbers in the wa. They in Zata, Kuzo Dominias to be the launch number is, Carisana Tower Deposit Loinza, launch is Neza, and the launch number is Tenisungoris.
So then we'll move to the four attributes of the truth of the path to cessations. So this the first attribute is called as it is a path. So here if we take an example of the wisdom, directly realizing emptiness. So that is the truth. That is a path. Is a truth of the path, and it is a path in the sense it is the path that the path of liberations.
And repair number segre carisana, Niemumba so Niet Chigueza, and repair numbers in Gores.
And then next the attributes which are called as appropriate means. Appropriate means. So because the path, this for instance, this a direct realization of the emptiness, so is an antidote to the antidote to direct antidote to mental afflictions, and so therefore it's called as appropriate means.
Dre number secretary Carisana, Sech Nelu Shinjamalupa, Dre, Shinjamalupa, 2 ways, Sech Nelu, Sech Nelu Shinjamalupa, 2 ways, and a Dre number on this.
And then the next attributes of the path is called as actualizations. So that is to because it indicates the actualizations or the realizations of the ultimate nature of the mind. So that's why it is called the actualizations here.
Tangyan Jipi number Sirikarsina, do not dance the Sepashipi Loinza, then the Sepashipi Loinza, and then Jipi numbers and Trisundo.
And then the truth of path is called as a means of definite emergence. So this is because it is a means to see the end of the sufferings, and so therefore it's called as the means of definite emergence.
That Tigani de Chichiru, Luju Churila Super Yorite, Inayata, the Shimashesra, that is in Gotu, that Tati Ulani, sujela so kenju san sene ani doaru mo dami dong ani ta kenju shasa le mo disrowa shasa doaru mo la dami de doaru de te kenju sala dami dong was te kenju sala dami dong wat le ngores te un tsawa chena ni sujela so kenju san sene ani tikas sungu yores.
So we will move to the next precepts, but there's also we regarding to this as we talk about the 16 attributes of this Four Noble Truth, but you can also find out about the 16 like opposite to those 16 attributes. And so anyway, so now the next, the precepts, which is called as a precept, which instruct on the basis of achieving. So that is the three jewels. This refers to the three jewels, and so under this we find about the three object of refuge.
다대 조적을 메르티 지마 고추죠라 지마 고추죠도 찬오르니 지마 고추가 있어.
So maybe we will stop the tonight's teaching here, and we'll talk about this three object of refuge in the next week teachings.
존주 senjo rombo che ma che pa no che che wa nyomba me pa ye kone kunda